Now, this process, incident of multiple registration takes place more in a polling unit. So you will now do what you call consolidation of the data. When you consolidate the data, if you have registered more than one or twice, it will show at that level. When we have finished all the polling in a ward, you will do cross-ward, consolidation of data during the office. After that, you do local government and all of that. Then you now do what you call state. Because the truth of the matter is that the greatest problem of Nigerian electoral process and development of Nigeria remains the Nigerian elite. They are the most terrible set of people. They are the ones ruining this country.
How?
How? Who are those who engage those who are doing multiple registration? Who are those who are doing the ECOMOG? They were carrying people from one state to another state. So when you hear about uncollected PVC, we have interrogated that. But they will never be collected.
Has any
so now
any
the point we are trying to do now
has
is
any
that
prosecution
we will
happened?
now have to go and do what we call the interstate. And I can tell you, it involves huge amount of money.
Yeah, Mike.
So the cost we are going through in this country is our failure to follow the rule of law.
So what is INEC doing
about that? And I know no country that we have to be begging people. People have to be sent to jail.
Do you have the money to address those concerns?
Look, first, INEC do not have that capacity. And that's why I started this program by telling you that an electoral process is a multi-stakeholder responsibility. That during an election, that you take the commitment of state institutions to the ideal of that nation. The Nigerian Security Services, they are responsible for that.
Not INEC?
To what extent? No. Look,
who is to prosecute those elites?
Listen, it is we have a prosecutor under the electoral offense and order, but do we have the capacity to do that? Do we have an investigation unit? We don't have that.
Why don't you?
Oh, so INEC, we are talking about unbundling INEC. That's not the responsibility to be given out. You are saying that INEC should not be doing the job of police, the job of ICPC, the job of
you just told us
EFC.
You just said it. You have prosecutorial powers.
Yes.
You've done investigations in 2011 elections.
Yes.
Let me begin from there.
Yes.
And you said you're going to prosecute.
Yes.
You told us here how you were able to get a conviction.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Right.
So the 2015 elections have happened. INEC did investigations. There's a full report.
A few of them. How many?
Okay. Were there how many people were prosecuted? How many were convicted from that 2015 election?
Yeah.
Now, if INEC was able to do that,
he did it in Calabar.
You did that in Calabar.
Not only in Calabar, it was also done in a few
other
states.
How many?
A few other states.
How many?
Look, I am going to invite you. When next program, like I told you, from the EPP retreat and onward, we are going to be engaged with Nigerian people.
We have this question because people...
The numbers of prosecution that have undertaken from Jega time, we will give you the total number. But compared to the level of enemy that we have seen by the reprobate elite, some of whom I have been praying to God, that some of them appear to be above the law. God, call them to come and join you in heaven.
So that means the police, that's an indictment on the police.
Oh, what? Well, of course, huge indictment on the police. There's no doubt about that. They have to do more.
Okay.
But to what extent is the police also equipped to do his own job? That's another question.
We'll take it from there when we come back in a moment. Join us again. Welcome back. Well, yes, indeed. Previously, Mike did say the police are a headache when it comes to prosecuting electoral offenders. But speaking about the conduct of local government elections across the country generally, we do know that there's an amendment process going on where they want INEC to take over those elections. But what is your assessment about how local government elections has turned out in this country?
First and foremost, INEC as an institution is not part of the effort to say we want to take over the job of the SEC.
If the law changes, you have no choice.
Right? Well, we are a creation of law. Number two, for somebody like me and several others who fought for democracy, and I was detained because of fighting for democracy, I have been carrying my placard in my heart that today, 774 local government of Nigeria are not under democracy. Under the sham non-events that you call elections. these are not elections properly so called. As a matter of fact, what ought to be the most important election in our democracy as a foundation ought to be local government elections. Today, we had a meeting in Ilorin in 2013. It was to our utmost chagrin that several of the states, as at that time, when all the CF, we sat down together, they had no electoral bodies. But I want to make a point here that a number of the people, as at that time, and perhaps now, who are heading these bodies are great men, people who have served in various capacities in public service before, retired and appointed, who could do better than what we are doing at the level of INEC. But you know the problem? Look, that word independent that they're putting to preface that name, they should remove it. We just say state electoral commissions. Because those bodies are not independent. A governor determines when an election will be conducted today in this country. It's not the president of the republic that determines when INEC will conduct elections. They have got to a level, and I heard this from these governors. When they sat down together, they now seem to have a template. Anywhere that is controlled by a political party is hijacked. Do you know that the many political parties you have today, if truly we have true local government election in this country, these parties will be controlling 1, 2, or 3 political parties at the level of the local government, and they'll be building up gradually. But today, everybody wants to party. A party registered today can only have a first chance of competition in INEC conducted election. If anybody in any of these bodies who want to challenge me on this, please put him on. I am ready for a debate. Right. Whether truly all those things they call non-event, they call election are truly
if we were to transmit the results,
is not part of that.
If we were to transmit the results electronically, as we understand, INEC is trying to partner with NCC,
right,
and they deploy it in the local government level, how much would that change anything?
Oh, fantastic! You see, in this country, there have been questions, challenges, hue and cry about what happens after the declaration of the result at the polling unit. Between polling unit at the point of collation, it has been an issue. The good news, as was declared by the chairman of the commission, as a build-up on what the last commission did, and I can tell you this is one institution in Nigeria now that is building on what the previous leadership had done. As it told you, was that one, the result, by the grace of God, all that have been test run at the moment, when it has been test run at the moment, by the time all of that shall have been completed, and the final declaration will be made to Nigerian public as to the direction for 2019, which already has indicated, what it meant is that the result was declared at the polling unit. The result sheet given to duplicate to the political parties, it will be transmitted to the collation center directly. It will be scanned so that, and of course, the audit paper trail will still continue up to that point, so that the electronically transmitted result could be compared and verified.
Is it tamper-proof?
Of course, that is the security of it, and that is that you have both paper trail evidence, but most importantly, once it is declared at that point, it is transmitted and sent to the center to secure the credibility of what has happened at that polling and in all the polling units. The result of that is that politicians will have 362 days to this next election.
All right, Mike, we need to
INEC's job is process.
Okay.
We want to ensure that the process is very clear.
That much
and
you can
the
take,
process
Mike,
is what we want to deal with. And
so appreciate your comment.
The integrity of the process, public faith in that integrity will take priority over any other.
So there you go. Mike Igini is the resident electoral commissioner for Akwa Ibom State. We'll look to see how all of those will eventually play out. We'll be back in a moment and talk about the police, which he says are a headache to us. Join us again.